all the drama on this night because we also had Game 5 between the Fever and the Aces. Winner goes to the WNBA Finals. Oh, look out.
The white tee.
The white tee is in the building. You know A'ja Wilson is locked in. Jackie Young going to get trapped in the wing. Aaliyah Boston called for a foul. So that would be an issue later. But the official here, there's timeout called. Look at what happens during the break. Becky Hammon is frustrated, and she is teed up for venting, voicing her frustrations to the refs. It was a 2-point lead for the Aces at the break. Kelsey Mitchell's pass tipped by A'ja Wilson, who keeps going. Young gets the pass, finishes on the other end. Aces up 7 after the made free throw. Mitchell, by the way, 15 points, knocks down that 3. Appears to be in some discomfort, though. Next Fever possession, Mitchell coming off the screen. Aaliyah Boston called for her 5th foul, but we go back to Mitchell because something is not right. Non-contact. She actually gets help going down. The team and everyone surrounds her, and then she needs help getting off the court. She was ruled out of the game. 30 seconds left in the third. Aces up 6. That is A'ja. Aces up 71-63 going into the fourth quarter. After losing Mitchell, Stephanie White had this message for her Fever team.
We gotta play for our teammates. Okay, we gotta fight for our teammates. Okay, tooth and nail. Ain't nobody in a better position to do this than us.
So many injuries to that Fever team. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Fever down 82-76. Boston. That makes it 82-78. And then Boston again finishing that layup. Fever down just 2. Jackie Young fouled on the second chance. The foul is on Boston, and that is number 6. The Fever would challenge. The call would be upheld. So the Fever would have to go the rest of the way without Aaliyah Boston. Aces led by 2 after the free throw. Under 30 seconds to play, Fever down to Odyssey Sims. She took a big fall in this game. 27 points to tie it at 86. 22 seconds left. Aces with the chance here. Young, 32 points. Problem is, none of them happened there. Jewel Lloyd didn't get the second chance to fall either. We had to bonus basketball. Overtime in a Game 5. Aces up 2. Chelsea Gray hitting that running 3. Was she off balance? Just a wee bit. Aces up 5, then 1:11 to go. Aces up 97-93. Gray, Wilson, a little give and go. Gray gets the points. Aces in full control. They're moving on to play for the title.
From start to finish on the defensive end, we've been locked in, and it's not just one person, it's not just 5 people, it's everybody. And everybody you see right here contribute to this game, whether they touched the floor or they didn't, and that's the sign of a championship team. We've worked so hard to get to this point. People counted all of us out, but we made it. We're making it to the finals right now, and so we're not done. We're not going to be complacent, but damn, it feels good right now.
All right, Carolyn Peck joins us down here on SportsCenter. And Carolyn, this was a thriller, obviously, going into extra time. How did the Aces, though, eventually towards the end close this thing out?
I think it was all about the experience. And, you know, Becky Hammon told Rebecca Lobo that, look, she knew A'ja was going to be A'ja, but she was going to have to rely on their guards to get it done. And in overtime, Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young, really, they took over the ball game. I mean, Chelsea Gray hitting those threes, and they hit nothing but the bottom of the net. And Chelsea Gray is just Miss Clutch. That's what she does. We've seen her do it time and time again. And what a smart play. Underneath, out of bounds, hitting A'ja and then stepping right back in. I think their experience of closing out games really paid off.
You do have to look at the Fever, and you do have to wonder what if the situation had been different. I mean, they didn't have Aaliyah Boston down the stretch. They didn't have Kelsey Mitchell much of the second half with that apparent injury. That's basically all we know right now. How did Indiana stay in this game without all of those key pieces?
You've got to compliment Stephanie White and the adjustments that she's had to make all season long. You know, first you lose Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham. She's got new players coming in. She got Ari McDonald, then she got Odyssey Sims, you got Shea Petty. And those players, Stephanie White was able to fit them into a system. And Odyssey Sims, you cannot say enough about how she stepped up when Kelsey Mitchell went down. 27 points tonight. This is a player that joined the team midway through the season. And when Mitchell went down, she stepped in like she had been there all season long. Like I've said all along, Indiana's got the pieces. If they could have stayed healthy, who knows what could have happened.
Obviously, there was another massive story in the WNBA today. We're gonna get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you this, though, because the finals are now set. That is the Aces and the Mercury. What about that matchup stands out to you?
Well, when you look at the regular season, A'ja Wilson didn't play in the first game. She was out with the concussion protocol. And then the Aces won the last 3. Now, when I look at the score, it's 80-77. This is going to be a defensive battle. And Alyssa Thomas is playing some of her best basketball. In the last 3 games in the Minnesota series, she averaged over 20 points, over 10 assists a game. When she stays aggressive, she either scores the basketball, gets fouled going to the line, or when she goes to the paint, the defense sucks into her, and that's when she can find the shooters. She is the key to whether or not it's Phoenix or the Aces in that final game of winning a championship.
By the way, game 1 of the WNBA Finals is Friday, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Cathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating, and it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you.
Now, the Cathy she mentioned, obviously WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, she issued a statement after Napheesa Collier's statement. Quote, I have the utmost respect for Napheesa Collier and all the players in the WNBA. Together, we have all worked tirelessly to transform this league. My focus remains on ensuring a bright future for the players and the WNBA, including collaborating on how we continue to elevate the game. I am disheartened by how Napheesa characterized our conversations and league leadership, but even when our perspectives differ, my commitment to the players and to this work will not waver. Carolyn Peck, what impact do you believe this statement from Napheesa Collier can have on the league all across?
Well, the first thing you've got to understand that in order to have improvement and have growth and evolve, you've got to have uncomfortable conversations. And I think that Napheesa Collier had the courage to really tell the truth of how she is feeling about how this league needs to move forward. You know, it's a little disheartening when she pointed out, okay, the fouls and the officiating. Well, that's important for the health and welfare of these players. The comment about Caitlin Clark, listen, Caitlin Clark is making her money because she's one hell of a player and she has put on a show from the time she was in college since she came into the league. And for Cathy to be able to sell the media rights and raise the money that she has for the WNBA, well, the players, it's their talent and their work that they have put in that has helped to have a product to sell. So these two different parties have to come together and work together. And behind closed doors, at times, you know, power kind of runs things and the players have been quiet. And so for Napheesa Collier to be able to say the things that she has, she's right. She's earned the right to step forward and to explain what else needs to be done for this league to continue to evolve.
But we all know that was also brave for her to go out there
100%.
and say the things that she did. Yep. Carolyn, thank you so much.